Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Brent Usry Show. The broadcasters in your area, in voluntary cooperation with the FCC, CIA, FBI, and other state and local authorities, have developed their systems to keep you submissive, confused, and out of control as they stage their fake emergencies in order to gain control of the country and your life. The Brent Usry Show is here to cut through the crap, blow away the smokescreen, and bring you the real news. So forget the fake news media, as Donald Trump called it. It's all a bunch of crap. But I am here to sort through it and help you out. Just tune in each day and you will hear the real news as I see it. And I'm usually correct. Sometimes it takes a couple years to prove it, but I think I've got about 100% average. Okay, well, as originally predicted, Liz Cheney is out of her career right now. She lost her primary, as I called it 2 weeks ago. I was in Wyoming, and I was at the Cheyenne Frontiers Days Wyoming rodeo, and she came on stage to give her little political speech and was booed off the stage. Well, when you are the congresswoman from Wyoming, and your dad was a congressman from Wyoming and became the vice president, and there's been a Cheney in Congress in Wyoming for years. Well, when you can't even go to the Cheyenne Frontier Days rodeo and give a speech without getting applause there, not many people like you. So anyways, so she lost her bid for the primary. She's been there for a couple years now, and now she is gone. And it's all part of taking part of the January 6th committee, which Jim Jordan wanted to take part, but they knew that he wouldn't be a Trump hater. So that was a stacked one-way committee. There was nobody on Trump's side. So it wasn't even a real hearing. It's just a railroad. They thought they were going to win, and they came up with nothing. As a matter of fact, the FBI has now said January 6th was an impromptu event. Well, impromptu means it just spurred up. It just happened. And I don't believe it was impromptu. I believe that Nancy Pelosi had her henchmen out there, and there was probably a whole bunch of people riling people up and pushing them in there. But they're calling it impromptu because the only people they're able to frame is their side. So since they didn't get anything on Trump, they're saying, okay, nobody did anything. Not, well, Trump didn't do anything, but we did. No, nobody did anything. So obviously, if it's impromptu, Trump did not organize it. So now they raid Trump's house to find documents. Why did they raid his house to find documents? Well, because they need something on the guy. He's about to become president of the United States, and they are all a bunch of pedophiles who have been controlling the world, and they've had their little organization, and we've all thought, well, Republicans, Democrats, we just pick our party and run with it. Well, Trump was the one that showed up and taught us about rhinos, and taught us that there's a bunch. By the way, rhino means a Republican in name only. So it doesn't mean rhinoceros. We're not talking about an animal with a horn on his head. We are talking about a Republican who votes as a Democrat. Well, it doesn't matter what you run at. If you vote with Nancy Pelosi on every single issue, you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter what your constituents think you are. So anyways, Trump taught us all about the fake news media, and he taught us all about the globalists. And George H.W. Bush back in, I believe it was 91, said, we're going to have a new world order, and we're going to control this new world order, and it's going to be great. Well, we're there right now, folks. What his plan was Hillary to win after Obama. And so they had everything laid out all the way along. It started with, I saw a picture of Bill Clinton at a fundraiser for when he ran for the governor of Arkansas. And George H.W. Bush was attending that fundraiser. Well, on what planet does a Republican vice president go to a fundraising of a liberal Democrat running for Arkansas governor? Well, so basically, it's been a laid out plan since the beginning. It started with George H.W. Bush, then it went to Bill Clinton, and then it went to George Bush, and then it was then went to Barack Obama, and then it was supposed to go from then, it was supposed to go either Jeb Bush or Hillary Clinton. And Donald Trump was the poison pill that jumped in the middle of the race and screwed it all up for him. So they've got out of their way, organized the entire world to come up with anything they can to get this man. They booted him out of office, came in with boxes of ballots, did all kinds of stuff. And I know most people believe that the election was not fair. I think the election was not fair, but I have no proof, and no one has any proof. So what do? We just continue on, and we just let this guy that's running the country raise our taxes. And I think what they think we're going to do is we're going to run out on the streets with our guns, and we're going to start a big war, and then they're going to arrest everybody, take their guns away, and then they're going to have their communist country that they want. The problem is they think too much like Democrats. They are Democrats. And they think if something made us mad, we would go out in the street and burn everything down and scream and yell. Well, that's not what Republicans do. When someone raises our taxes, we get a second job and we pay the taxes. And we continue on. Now, we may not be happy with the way things are going, but we don't try to forcibly overthrow the country. And Donald Trump did not try to forcibly overthrow the country, unlike the propaganda that is being spouted out there by Nancy Pelosi and Liz Cheney and all kinds of other communists. But the good news is Liz Cheney is no longer going to be a congresswoman, but she has hinted that she might be she may be running to be president against Donald Trump. Well, good luck with that. And that probably is what the raid was all about. Let's go into Mar-a-Lago. Let's take 20 boxes. Let's put some stuff inside those boxes. Say we found it in Donald Trump's house. Say we searched the place and we found out that he was trying to overthrow the country from Mar-a-Lago, and then they indict him, stick him in jail, and then they say, well, we need someone to run. I suggest Liz Cheney. Although I think Ron DeSantis will do a better job, but I think they would like to see Liz Cheney because Liz Cheney is a Democrat. And so if they could get a Republican in there that'll do things the way they want them done, they certainly will do that. Okay, let's talk about this thing the other day where Donald Trump said that the FBI took his passports. And then Nora O'Donnell, a reporter, came out and said, Donald Trump is lying. They didn't take his passports. He's trying to cover up for the fact that he had classified documents, blah, blah, blah. She made a big deal all over Twitter. Well, the FBI admitted, yes, we took his passports, and we will be giving them back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. They knew exactly what they were doing. They took the passports to harass the man, to let him think, well, if you're going to run for president, we can take your passports away. We can make you a prisoner. We can ruin your life. Hey, I'm not going to say anything. All I can tell you is they were trying to ruin this man's life. And Ivana Trump died last month of falling downstairs. So potentially there could have been false, what do you call it? Bad intentions. Let's just call it bad intentions. So anyways, Tucker Carlson of Fox News believes that Donald Trump is going to be indicted. They will find something on him and go for it. So I think, that the framing of Donald Trump could be a way to control the election. Work on putting in Gavin Newsom or Liz Cheney. How about Gavin Newsom with Liz Cheney as the vice president? How's that ticket sound? Not any different than it would be with any other Democrat on the other end. So anyways, we now have a Biden hit list. a enemies list, if you will. Nixon made the enemies list famous. Nixon had a list of people that he was going after that did not agree with him. And the Democrats and all of the news media, they talked about how bad that was for America to have a president that has a enemies list. And they talked about Nixon as the worst guy in the world because he had an enemies list. Now Biden has an enemies list. And on that enemies list, many people have already been arrested, already been probed and put in jail and got out. And people like Rudy Giuliani. Remember when Rudy Giuliani was America's favorite mayor? And around 9/11, he was walking through the city of New York, and everybody loved him. What happened? He became friends with Donald Trump. Now he is America's major enemy. And remember Mike Flynn? Well, Mike Flynn went to jail, but Donald Trump released him. What was he guilty of? He was guilty of being a friend of Donald Trump's and not helping them to overthrow the government. Interesting, isn't it, that they want to say that the Republicans and Donald Trump are overthrowing the government, but every time we turn around, the Democratic Party is trying to overthrow the government. Remember Kenosha, Wisconsin? They're running through the streets, burning the place to the ground, and then they attack one boy with a AR-15, and he shoots him, and suddenly Kenosha, Wisconsin is all about this guy using his AR-15. Well, what about the thousands of businesses that got burnt to the ground and people who lost millions of dollars? Oh, it wasn't about that. It was only about a guy with a gun. Well, thank God that he got released and he got found not guilty. He's going to end up becoming a rich man by suing. So, at the top of this hit list, the people running it are Merrick Garland, who Barack Obama wanted to make a Supreme Court justice. Thank God that did not happen. Now, I don't say a whole lot of good stuff about Mitch McConnell, but Mitch McConnell delayed that vote all the way until Donald Trump was able to appoint him. And personally, I think he saved a lot of Supreme Court justices' lives because I think the guy that Merrick Garland replaced was executed. I don't have any proof. I'm just telling you. I think so. So if Merrick Garland filled that seat, who was next? They might have wiped them all out. But instead, Mitch McConnell held the seat open. Donald Trump replaced him. And now we have a conservative Supreme Court, and things are moving the right direction because of that Supreme Court. So that's the greatest thing. But now the Democrats, they're not going to sit there and accept rejection. They're not going to accept failure. They're stepping in and they're going, well, we will just come up with 87,000 IRS agents and we'll start arresting every conservative in the nation. Now, I have friends who say, well, Donald Trump should have done the same thing they're doing. But the bottom line is we do things the right way, and they don't. So Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray, that's the FBI director, they're the ones chasing down Joe Biden's hit list, and they're doing a fine job. But now we got 87,000 IRS agents. Who do you think they're going after? There's not enough billionaires in this country for them to go after them, and they certainly aren't going after Nancy Pelosi. And I guarantee you they're not going to be auditing Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is a criminal. He's got videos of himself smoking crack and waving around guns. Nobody went into his house, but they went into the house of the former president of the United States, which is absolutely unprecedented. We've had a lot of turmoil in this country from day one. And never, ever, ever have they ever invaded the home of an ex-president. And in the last few years, there's been a few questionable ex-presidents, and I'm not going to name names. I'm sure you have your own list. I've got mine. But one of those questionable presidents was not Donald Trump. Donald Trump has stood the test of time. They have come out with so many things they wanted to accuse him of, and Teflon Don has walked away each and every time completely scot-free. So Donald Trump is not the ex-president of the United States. I believe he's the next president of the United States. But Merrick Garland's going to try to frame him of something and make sure that doesn't happen. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of our program. This has been the Brett Usry Show, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.